Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Security Talks. So, today we have a person who is working on a very different type of profile and a very interesting profile. At the same time, he'll be a very inspiring person as well, especially for the students. Why I'm saying is because he himself is a student currently, and at the same time he's an employee also. So for the first half he goes to the college, and the second half he goes to the work. So he's doing two role at the moment, and there's a lot to learn from him. So I would like to welcome Mr. Tejas Bhal. Hi Tejas.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Hello.
So,
Hi Tejas.
hello.
How are you doing?
Yes. Yeah, I'm fine, sir. Yeah.
Right.
So, good afternoon, everyone. And as I say, as sir said, I'm doing currently I'm doing two roles, and I guess when I will share my insights about everything, like what I learned in this company and in my earlier experience, I hope that all my insight will help you in your future.
Sure, definitely, Tejas, and that is the intention of having these security talks, so that people can learn from others' journey, so that they also would be reach to that level. And I think, Tejas, you should be a definitely inspiring, being a student and an employee at the same time. Even when I was pursuing my masters, I wasn't in the. So you are in the third year. So guys, he's
Yes,
in
sir. Yes, sir.
his third right now.
I'm currently in my
I
fifth
got
semester. Yeah,
fifth
yes.
semester, right? When
Yeah.
I was pursuing my masters, I got job as engineer, security engineer with Infosys when I was in my last sem. So it was in internship time, but though I got a job. So there also I was kind of a student and an employee, full-time employee at the same time. So, but
Yes.
I think it's a hats off to you, Tejas, because being in a third year itself, you have, secured a job. And so, tell me, Tejas, like, how did it started? Like, were you intentionally wanted to get into a job because you're already a student? Because
Yes, sir. Yes.
usually when we talk to students, they don't have this vision of getting into a job or something. So was it something that was in your plan, or was it something that just came up randomly? If you can start with that.
Yeah. So it just I can say just came up randomly because if I started how I started in cybersecurity, so it was back in class 11. So at that time, I didn't knew exactly what cybersecurity is. Like, is there any field in where legally we can work? Because
Hmm.
most of the people at that time, in back in 2019, I guess, or 18, like people have the thought that it is a very something illegal you are doing,
Right.
like cybersecurity, like hacking or something. So at that time I was just a little bit curious, so I just started looking around like articles, blogs, or YouTube videos. So what exactly cybersecurity is. So
Hmm.
at that
Hmm.
time I got to know there is some career in, there are some opportunities which I can explore, like I can work legally in some companies.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
you can say, with my class 11th or 12th, when I was preparing for JE also, and this, I started learning cybersecurity also at that time only.
Okay. Okay.
So as soon as I joined my college in my first year, I just wanted to get some hands-on experience. So that was my whole plan, that I will just work because I always thought that instead of just learning, keep learning, you have to have some hands-on experience, like real world experience. For
Yeah.
that, when you will get to learn how the things are in corporate, in all the companies, what you are
Hmm.
gonna work on. So at the time, I joined my first company in my second semester, as an intern, as a cybersecurity intern. So at the time, it was just my plan that I will just get experience, and then I will see what I have to do, whether I will like it or not. So eventually, I like the idea, what the cybersecurity is. Like, I joined in the offensive side, it's like the penetration testing.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
in that, and after that, I joined the CyberSapiens in last year, October, I guess, August,
Yeah.
yeah, September, August or
Hmm.
September. And then it was like I didn't plan to like apply on any job. So it was my
Hmm.
HOD like from my department who recommended me to the like manager like of the company where I am currently working, because they were looking for someone, because it is a startup like where I am
Ah.
currently working. It is a
Hmm.
Bangalore based startup. So they were looking for someone who can work in security and have a knowledge of artificial intelligence.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so there my HOD like recommended me. So and after that I just applied there, and eventually like after interviews and all, like I just got into that. So it
Right.
was like I will even appreciate like the company, because they understand that I'm currently studying, so they like give me a little bit flexibility that I can come after college. So everything just work well.
Definitely.
It's just good.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
definitely if they have hired you being a student, it means they have seen a lot of potential in you, because that hardly happens, right? We don't
Yes,
see
sir.
these type of cases, very rare cases. However, these days we are seeing, because a lot of students are very enthusiastic these days and
Yes, sir.
very hardworking. We have seen, and those who are hardworking, they definitely get. So you're doing BTech in AI ML, if I'm not wrong,
Yeah,
correct?
AIML. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So why did you choose AI ML when you had
Yeah.
interest in cybersecurity? Anything on that,
Yeah.
if you
Yes,
can
sir.
name?
Yes, sir. I will. Yeah, that's a like pre-planned, I will say, because
Uh-huh.
when in 2021 I joined this college. So earlier I was thinking to do my bachelor's in cybersecurity only. But
Hmm. Hmm.
then I thought like, because like AI, like artificial intelligence is just coming, like it is like everywhere. It is like whether it is in software development or it is in
Hmm.
cyber security, IoT, DevOps. So
Hmm.
everywhere security is. So I feel like in the near future, artificial intelligence will play a very crucial role in each and every field. So
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
in cybersecurity only, like to automate like some complex tasks, like whether to automate something, or like
Right.
some tools we can say, or there are like lot of potential I see with AI which I can do. Like if I have both the knowledge of security and AI, I feel like it will just increase my productivity too and
Of
make me a
course.
better like you can say important part of any company. Like I will be more productive than a normal person who have just one field knowledge, whether it is
Right.
security
Right.
or AI.
Cool. Um, so that makes me ask you the next question. Like, if you can give us an overview of your current role. I mean, you have all the
Yes, sir.
rights to not to disclose any of the information
Yes, sir.
which you
Yes,
don't
sir.
want to. But whatever, if you can share, just give us an insight,
Yes,
because
sir.
this is something a different type of role where you're working, like AI and
Yes, sir.
cybersecurity. So if you just
Yes,
throw us
sir.
an insight of what you do and what your roles and responsibilities
Yes,
are.
sir. Yeah. So as sir said, so currently I am working as AI CyberOps intern. So it's like a big name. So
Yeah.
as it says, so it's like combination of both AI and cybersecurity.
Hmm.
So what it is that in my company I'm working on the security of edge devices, or you can
Hmm.
say all the like IoT devices.
Hmm.
So whether it is like all the smart devices or the devices which are we are using in our auto, like in the vehicles or in our houses, or whether or also in industries.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
it's like in currently most of the focus is on like web or mobile, like mobile penetration testing or web application. So
Hmm.
and there's not much research on IoT devices, like their
Right.
security, their bug issues, and how you can
Right.
prevent them. So my work is because the company's focus is to develop some IoT devices for the industries, like it
Okay.
yeah. So I have to just work with the development team, and I have to see, like I have to, you can say, just check the security of all the IoT devices that the company is developing or they are
Hmm.
using them. And with that, also the machine learning models that the company, like whether it is like I will take an example of object detection model. Like
Hmm.
say, so we have object detection model that detect the traffic signals.
Hmm. Hmm.
So there can be security bugs in that, like someone hacked it and like it trained, like there's some trained it like instead of speed limit is 60 there, so they can make it like maximum limit speed limit is 200. So
Okay.
car instead of stopping it will just increase its speed. So it can be like it can cause some accident or something, so
Right.
it's not. So I have to like check all those things. I have to like secure the models so that like they are not vulnerable to any kind of these attacks. So overall, I'll say my work is to work on IoT devices and all the machine
Mm.
learning models. So
That
I have to like
that's Yeah,
yes sir,
Tejas, that sounds really challenging to me, man. That's
yes
really
sir,
sounds very challenging because I think you
yes
have
sir,
to be thinking out of the box.
yes sir,
It's you have a given a IoT product, and you need to feed the product
yeah.
with the
So
security
yes sir,
scripts, right? You have to
yes sir,
feed that
yeah,
product,
yes sir, yes sir,
make it more smart,
yes sir,
and so that the devices are taking care of the security by itself.
yes sir,
That's what
yes
I
sir, yes
understood,
sir,
right?
yeah, yeah. That's all about it. So that there is no like without any human interaction, it should be like capable of protecting itself. That's the whole idea behind it.
Wow, wow. And you work on multiple type of
Yes sir,
devices, I
multi.
believe.
Yes,
It's not
yes
like
sir, yes.
one type of thing
No,
only.
no, no.
Okay.
Multiple type of devices. Yes.
Where do you get
And
your thoughts from? Like, because I definitely what I can understand is you have to be an out of box thinker to work
yes
on
sir.
something like this. So where do you get ideas from?
So it's like because I don't have much experience in this because this is a very new thing, and so I usually reach out to like some of the like person who is like researching in this field, like some of the
Hmm,
professors or someone who have published some research paper. So I will say networking is a very important thing, like in on LinkedIn or like other thing, like
right.
you are offline someone meeting. So I'm like I feel like I have very good networking when it comes to like the person who knows a lot of things. So whenever I feel like something I don't know, so I just reach out to them. Or other thing is I will recommend there is one site called Google Scholar.
Hmm,
So
correct.
so
Yeah.
there are a lot of research papers there or like thesis which will like which helps a
Correct.
lot to read. So I will say the important thing is to read as much as you will read and you will make your own notes, you will understand. That's I guess that's my go-to idea like for any project I am working on. So I have to
Right.
first learn, then I have to implement it.
Yeah, right, right. So having said this, do you do you find managing your college and your work, how do you manage it, and do you find it
Uh,
difficult, or like how
yeah,
does it go?
so, so definitely it's a bit challenging. I will say a lot challenging. I will say so. In this, I will say
Yeah.
my HOD like she supports me a lot. Like
Okay.
I will say
Okay.
so. If there is no support from like if I do not have any support from college, I will say
Right.
that it is like a bit challenging for me because first I have to be in college, then
Correct.
I have to go to the office. So sometimes it is challenging, especially during the exams. I will say
Exam
because
time.
at that
Yeah.
time I can't take like off from the office. I have to be go there regularly, and I have to also prepare for my exam. So I will say initially like 1 or 2 months it was more challenging, but after that I was
Mhm.
like habitual. Like if you like when you enjoy something working, you don't like really feel something. So I am really interested in this like security part or the artificial intelligence. So I'm enjoying my work currently, so I do not feel much like it is hectic or something. So I'm just enjoying
Wow. Wow.
working.
That's really, I mean, truly inspiring, Tejas. Like, I can imagine how much of hard work you might have been putting, how much of compromising you might have been doing, because usually people at this age usually tend to spend their time in
Yes sir,
entertainment or traveling and all, but you have compromised all of that, um,
yes sir,
and you are doing all of this, so really hats off. So Tejas, we just go back, like how was the interviews like?
yes sir,
What type of questions were asked for you in the interview? How difficult was it? Can you give an insight on that from the interview perspective?
yes sir. So there were basically 3 rounds in that.
Okay.
So in the first round there was like it was mostly on the cybersecurity part. So what
Okay.
happened? So they asked me all the questions related to like the current vulnerabilities, that is OWASP top 10 for web
Okay.
application,
Okay.
and after that OWASP top 10 for APIs. So
Okay.
it's not like they just ask me the names, and it's like so they ask in very details like each and every
Ah,
vulnerability, whether it is cross-site scripting, SQL injection, their types examples also. and
Uh-uh.
each of their like individual remedies also, like if there is any like blind SQL injection or their
Okay.
blind accesses out of band is there. So all these conditions they gave me, and also they gave me some situations, so how you can handle them like in the real
Hmm.
world. They just tried, so they like my thought process how it is when I am like what is my methodology, I'll say.
Any
So
one example just to point out if you can recall
yeah,
any real-time question so that people understand. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So they asked me like they gave me an example of like currently they are developing some web application. So they're like they were developing they asked about a login form. So
Mm-hmm.
first they ask what and all the security like you we have to like implement on the like login form, and what are the like
Okay.
vulnerabilities that can be in this login form.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I just told them about like first one is the broken that
Mm-hmm.
authorization is there, like
That's
whether
another.
it is like brute forcing,
Yeah.
whether rate limiting is there, and after the SQL injection I told them whether it is like if it is not like we are not filtering the like
Correct.
uh, SQL
Parameters input.
inputs like
Yeah. Yeah.
parameters we are not filtering. And I told all this thing, and also the command injection is also possible sometimes there, or excuroside scripting is also there. So I told lot of like at that time like each vulnerabilities with examples I told them,
So
and also
every
the remedy.
vulnerable. So it was that detailed
Yeah, it was
intelligence,
written
right?
like it's about like more than an hour interview that
Oh my
took.
God.
So
Okay.
it was like basic, I guess, because I'm from currently a student only, and that's why I guess they were like testing me a lot, I guess I'd say.
Right. So second
It was
round
like
was on
okay.
cybersecurity for
uh,
almost like 1 hour. First round was on cybersecurity
yeah,
on for
yeah,
1 hour.
yeah.
Then second round.
So second round was because it's a role of both artificial intelligence and cybersecurity. So
Uh-huh.
the second round was more like 80% based on the artificial intelligence.
Okay. AI.
So
Huh, huh, huh.
yeah, AI. So it was like what I know about AI, and also the like the type of learning. So AI part was not in that detail. They were like security part was more in detail, because they were like you have to like learn AI with that. So security was in like too much detail, I'll say. Like that was pretty hard, I will say. Because
Okay.
even
Okay.
like it was like because I was just studying like in my internship, like as I told that in CyberSapiens, when I was in CyberSapiens, I was studying like it was like I guess everything just fit too well. That I was studying about this OWASP top 10 in web
Right.
application and APIs. So and
Right.
I also make my own notes, and I
Hmm.
also publish them
Hmm.
on LinkedIn also. And
Hmm.
I guess that helps me a lot, because that was my when you create your own notes, your personal
Yes.
notes, that then you will remind like remember whatever you like
Right.
wrote. And you have like short notes also, like your personal note is there. Whenever you feel like you have to revise, you can. So I guess
Right.
if someone's want to prepare for any interview, I will like the most important thing to make your personal note, so that you
Hmm.
can
Hmm.
revise like just before the interview, or like it's really help, I'll say.
True.
You
True.
like right now we do not feel like it is not that important, but it really is, and so.
Right.
And in the
Okay.
second,
Huh.
if I
Huh. Good.
like talk
Hmm.
about more, so it is like in artificial and in machine learning, they're like focusing on like the what are the type of learnings are there, whether
Hmm.
like reinforcement learning or there like different kind of learning.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
some concepts they ask, like mathematical concepts they ask me, like logical regression, calculus, all those parts they ask. So it was like I'll say because I didn't expect it to be that detailed, like frankly if I say. It was like they are asking like a lot of things which I never heard like some in any of the interview.
Okay.
And after that, like, and also after all the like machine learning topics, they asked me what and all like do I have any idea of the security of all the like machine learning or IoT
Hmm.
devices.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I'll say I like keep reading, like you have to be up to date like about
Right.
all the
Right.
like all this thing that is going on. So I knew about some IoT devices bugs. So there's some services, I will say, like MQTT something is there. So
Okay.
it's a very it's a most of the like IoT device are based on this service only. So I told about like this service and what are all the bugs are there.
Hmm.
So because in IoT device there is no authentication, authorization, nothing is there. It's like just one payload you run, and it's just you have like full control of the IoT devices, and they are not regularly patched.
Right,
So that is
right,
very
right.
like, yeah. And other than that, they ask machine learning models vulnerabilities. Like I told you that example I gave. So in that, I told them like some of the attacks I knew that adversarial training. So in that, what happened? So said they gave him malicious input in as an input, like we will say, like SQL injection. You can relate it with SQL injection.
Huh.
So we, instead of that, there is just like some input we gave, we changed the neurons. Like there in machine learning, there are some neurons is there, like in backend what and all is going on. I guess I
Okay.
am going into detail. So I told about like all these like attacks and all and their defenses. And
Okay.
after even that, in third round, they gave me a live their own website to test.
Oh, oh.
So I have to made a report. So it was like a home at home I have to do. So they gave
Mm-hmm.
me 2 days, and I have to make a report and send them like what and all bugs I have to find. I have find with the remedies.
Cool,
So they
cool.
are like all 3 rounds were there. So it was like a whole 1 month process.
I could feel that because I got exhausted by listening to your interview thing.
Yeah,
That really
it
like
was a lot.
scares me because so
Yeah,
much of questions, so many questions. You
yeah,
definitely get exhausted, and then you have another round where you have to perform an assessment.
yeah.
So,
It was
right.
it was it was really hectic. I will say I didn't expect it to that much hard, but yeah,
But I think it is
it
worth it, right? It was worth
yeah,
it
it is
that you
worth it. I'll
did
say
that. Right, right.
yeah.
So it's gonna help you a lot in your career, in your future.
Yes, sir.
So, Tejas, my next question would be is like, how did the training help you? How because the questions that were asked to you were very advanced level there, is
Yes,
what
sir.
I
Yes, sir.
understand. So, how did that help? How were you
Yeah.
able to provide responses to those questions, especially to
Yes,
those
sir.
scenario-based questions
Yes, sir.
from a training standpoint? Again, I'm asking this because when you get into a organization, that time you
Yes,
realize
sir.
what was being taught there,
Yeah.
right? So the
Yes, sir. Yes,
candidates
sir.
who have, they should also understand, okay, this is actually be getting useful for us
Yes, sir.
tomorrow. So just from that perspective, if you can give us an highlight.
Yes, sir. So I'll tell like because like questions really were like advanced, but the most important thing is like your basics have to be strong.
Hmm. Hmm.
So like when I like came to like I joined CyberSapiens. So first thing was like all the basics were there, like all the security basics, like on
Hmm.
the like
Hmm.
secure like talks were there. So like we have all the like vulnerabilities, or not with
Right.
this vulnerabilities, all the tools that we have to use. We
Correct.
like whether it is Nmap or it is burp suit or
Correct.
it is like other like dir search or all those things were there. So I
Right.
guess like that is the like fundamental you all have to know that, because that helps like if you don't have the knowledge, basic knowledge of all the like vulnerabilities that is going on
Yes.
around the world like currently, or like recent vulnerabilities, whether it is like mobile or it is API or it is web application. So that is like really important, because if you don't know the basic, then I don't think you will able to learn the advanced concept also,
Correct.
because it's just
True.
escalate like you have to like just go in detail of the basics only. That is only advanced.
Yes.
So I
Yeah.
guess I will really say that the all the part, whether it is tools or like that I learn, or like you can say I revise in during the internship, or whether it is the vulnerabilities and their remedies, and also the
Mhm.
task that we have to do, that we have to like make report and send it to like I
Right.
guess that's the most effective part I'll say, because
Okay.
there we are making our own notes. I'll say like I will
Mm-hmm.
recommend everyone to just make your own notes, whatever you are learning, and you just post it. It just helps you. It will make you feel good, and it will really help you in the like
Correct.
when whether it is like some interview or to boost your confidence. You will see if you are ever forgetting something, you can just go back to your notes and you can just go through them.
So Tejas, there were some queries from the candidates who are saying like, because we have seen some of the people were just copy pasting, blind copy paste some
Yeah,
candidates were doing. So they were like, okay, how do I write my own? Like, it's the only
yes,
thing, it's already there. I just copy paste it. So
yes, sir.
any tips you would like to give in
Yeah,
preparing notes? Because
yes, sir.
see, at the end, somewhere you have to take references,
Yes, sir.
but
Yes,
you
sir. You
can't
have
just
yeah,
blindly do the copy paste.
yeah.
So
Yes, sir.
the problem right right now people are facing is they're not able to understand how to take the references. There's a
Yes,
difference
sir.
there when you take reference and when you're copy
Yeah,
pasting.
it's
People are
copy paste.
copy
Yes, sir.
pasting.
Yes,
So,
sir.
is there any tips that you would like to give that would
Yeah.
help the candidates here? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So I will say, like, let's say you are making some, like, your personal, you are studying some,
Hmm.
let's say cross-site scripting only, and
Hmm.
I will recommend you to like just go through all the reference, whether you have, like, whether it is OWASP website, whether it is
Hmm.
Portswigger or any other website
Hmm.
is there. Just go through, you understand, and you also take examples, and instead of just copy pasting whatever you understand, it's not like you have to like write a lot. If you write
Hmm.
just few
Exactly.
points, like 4 or 5 points, you write all the like whatever you understand, and that is enough. If you just copy paste like 2 pages, I'll say that will not help you. Instead of
Right.
that, just write 5 6 points. That will help you a lot. Like whatever you learn, you just give some time, read for about like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Whatever you can learn, you just go to an idea. Okay, what is cross-site scripting? What are the types of cross-site scripting? You just go to know the syntax, go to know the examples. Write all those things like first, what is cross-site scripting? After that,
Correct.
okay, these are the types. Then individual types you take, then you write their examples. Like this, you just like it's a complete like process you make.
So
Whatever
basically,
you learn,
read through
yeah,
various
yeah,
platforms is, I think,
yeah,
something which we're also trying to say, rather than just
yes, yes,
focusing on one particular
yes,
site or blog. Read through
yeah,
multiple, so you get a
yeah,
clarity, and
yeah,
then maybe you pick up some points and like make the
yes,
key points like
yeah.
that,
Make it
right? So
in write in your own word, whatever you how you
yes,
understand it. That's
exactly.
most important.
Exactly. So I think that was really helpful.
Yes, sir.
So before I go to the next question, I would just like to say after this question, I'll be opening for any questions. If you guys have any questions, please be ready with your questions. Once after this question, I'll be opening up the panel for discussion. So you guys please be ready with your questions if you have any. So Tejas, you also mentioned that you read through, research through and all.
Yes, sir.
Is there any specific platform which you or which you would recommend our your basically your juniors here,
Yes, sir.
which you would recommend, which you have found to be one of the best platform to learn or something? Is there anything like that, one or two or three like that?
Yeah, yeah, yes, sir, yes, sir. So first one is like whether you want to learn about the exploits, I will say like what and all
Hmm.
is like
Hmm.
there. So I will say that exploit DB, I guess everyone have known it like rapid
Exploiting. Yeah.
send by
Yeah.
rapid send. So that's
Okay.
like you because I like to not just like the copy the whole like whether it is I have some script like some
Hmm.
exploit. I usually tend to like go through that exploit like how it is working. I try to like
Hmm.
understand it. So I guess because they
Hmm.
give the whole exploit like whatever the code behind it how it is working.
Hmm.
I that's why I recommend that exploit. Even I will also recommend to just go through the exploit whatever you are using. So
Okay.
instead of the like directly using it, if you just understand okay how it is working, I guess then it will be more beneficial. Like whenever you want you to your own understanding how the thing
Hmm.
is working,
Hmm.
I guess then you can write your own also. Because if
Hmm.
you once because directly you can't write. Let's say you want to automate cross-site scripting only.
Right.
So directly you can't because no one can. You have to just get some reference. So you
Hmm.
can go to like the exploit DB. You can go there. You just see or any. I will say GitHub. GitHub is
Okay.
like
Okay.
very important. I will
Yes.
say like there
Yes.
you can see a lot of different projects. You will see. Just go through those projects. Or you see okay how what is the thinking behind the making of that tool or that exploit, and I will then it will help in writing your own also. If you started writing your own, then
Hmm.
I'll you will be like in better like condition than others in this like in cybersecurity.
Right. Right. Cool. Cool. Tejas, I think that was helpful. So, any questions, guys? You can unmute yourself, or you can use the chat button to ask your questions. Anyone?
I, yeah, you can ask anything like I'll
Yes.
just
Make the
whatever
best
doubts
use
you
of
have.
this time. Right. Right. Yes. I think Aditya is typing. So others who wants to ask, you can unmute and ask, or you can paste your question in the chat box. Anything is fine for us. But see that you ask questions and make the best use of this time. Till the question comes up, my next what I would like to ask is like how do you what are you how do you spend your day, like how do you go when do you go to the college, when do you go to the office,
Yeah.
and when you give time to yourself, is there a space where you can give time to yourself
Yeah.
or not, like?
So I'll say like it's my schedule is like it's pretty different. I'll say like my college is like 9 o'clock. So it's
Hmm.
like morning 9 o'clock. So I start from there. So 9 to 1:30 I will be in my college. After that, 2:30, like 3 o'clock, I will just go to my company, and there will be I will be like 7:30 till 7:30 I will be there. So like after coming back, then it's like I will just take rest or like it's dinner. Then I will just give like I have to complete my college work also, like it's any
Yeah,
assignments and are there, exam is there, and
right.
then I will just sleep. And I usually woke up like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. At that time, I study cybersecurity. All the I just go through first this thing. I go through like Twitter. I will say Twitter is a very good place if you like really use it in a like for good way, like to get some knowledge. I just like you can follow some good people like in the cybersecurity who have like who just keep posting some new, like whether it is new exploits or new bugs are there. So you can follow people like John Hammond is there, Jason Headaches. So all these
Mm.
people like some good like renowned people in the cybersecurity
Right.
who you can also follow on YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So I'll just go through all these, and after that I just practice some like whether it is in Portswigger or it's
Mm.
like pen test, like that lab is there. So just to like get so that I keep in touch with this. So it's like it's all my like every day is like this one. So like you have
Okay.
to make some changes. So you have to like give time to each and everything.
Right. Good, man. I think by the time you are done with your day, you feel exhausted, I guess.
Yeah. For like now I'll say like now I'm on a break. Like it's like so I'll say
Okay.
now I will just give some time to myself also.
That's good, and I really
Yeah.
appreciate the time, Tejas, that you're giving to us, and
Yeah.
that's really helpful for the people. So we have a question by from Aditya. Bug bounty programs
Mm,
consider reporting bugs discovered manually via platforms like Burpsuit. Could you suggest
yeah.
other platforms other than Burpsuit which are considered by bug bounty programs?
So I like whether like in bug bounty. So I don't think any like whether it is like HackerOne or it's Bugcrowd or it is integrity is there. So like with my own personal experience, they do not usually like accept the vulnerabilities that you found from Burpsuit, because
Hmm.
it, most of the time it can be like false negative also like false positive also it's like this. So I will say you have to like in manually like you pursuit is best, I will say. You just whether you let's say you found some issues like whether when you are testing using pursuit, then you try to exploit it manually. So
Right.
you have to like prove it like manually whether it is working correctly or not. So you see, you make take few exploits, like few payloads you take, and then you create a POC on that. I guess then they will be like it will be like more. They will be like more sure. Okay, yeah, this is working. Instead of just submitting the whatever report you get from the Burpsuit, you
So the
have to like
question is
manually check.
actually, is there any other tool similar to
Oh, okay.
Burpsuit?
Burpsuit.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, you can use
Apart from Burpsuit
OWASP.
for manual
Yeah.
testing. Yeah, manual
Oh,
testing there he's
manual
asking. Yeah.
testing. Yeah, so I'll say like similar to Bursuit, OWASP is there. It's like it's not as effective, I will say, as Bursuit, but it's an alternative if you don't want to like buy the Bursuit Professional. So and they're like much more like functionalities than normal Bursuit. So you can use OWASP, but for
Yeah.
like
But
just for
otherwise, I
the
think Burpsuit is something which is popularly used
yeah
even in the
most like
companies
it's
as
more
well.
than enough,
Yeah.
I will say. Yeah, in
Yeah,
my
yeah.
in professional work also I'm using Bursuit only. So
Correct.
it's
So
like
Aditya, it's even professionals and even big companies also, if
yeah,
you take, if it is about web APIs and all, it's mainly Burpsuit which is
Bursuit
used for
only.
manual
Yeah.
testing. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And in Burpsuit, there are a lot of plugins. So
yeah,
basically,
yeah.
people use
Plugins are
multiple
there.
plugins
Yeah,
actually.
multi. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So there are
You,
a lot of plugins which you
yeah.
can use.
So
But I
Yeah,
don't
one,
think there
yeah.
is any alternative to burp suit as
No, no,
such.
no. No, like there's no competition, I will say, in for browser. Few
Yes.
plugins I can say, like for the IDOR, like one of my favorite vulnerability, I will say like IDOR, I guess, and it is a lot of
Hmm.
time I will find it. So there is one extension called authorize something like it's that
Hmm.
in the extension there. So there, like it can automate your IDOR, like you can find the IDOR using that. So that's one of
Hmm.
the like extension that I use like most often, like in browser.
Right. Okay. So finally, I think we are almost at the close of this talk session, Tejas. So any tips which you would like to give to your fellow mates
Yeah,
who are basically trying to struggle, especially for the students? I'll just ask
yeah.
you to give your tips for the students who are in their college. Any suggestion
Yeah,
or tips that you would like to give it to them?
yeah. So like specifically for a student, I will say like first of all, like you should not be like thinking like you should not be overwhelmed. I will say because there is a lot to learn, so you have to
Mm,
focus on what you want to learn, like
mm,
whether it is offensive or defensive. You just go through them, whatever makes you feel okay. Yeah, this is the way I should go. That way you choose. Don't just mix like little bit I will study this, little bit I will study this. That
mm,
will not
mm,
take you anywhere. You have to just focus on one like target you have. I will say
mm,
whether you want
mm,
to go on the penetration testing only, you just have to focus on that. Don't
mm,
just like I will say after you are like proficient in that, you are like you have proper skills, then you can explore other fields. But if you like same time you are doing a lot of things, I guess with my experience I will say you will struggle a lot. Like little you are studying everything, then you'll everything will mix up and it will just you will not be able to like get that much like knowledge, I will say. And other than that, I will say like make notes whatever you are studying. You have to make notes, whether it is like you are even you are doing like bug bounties, you are doing, you make notes like what and all I'm doing, like what are the methodologies, what are the functionalities are there in the application. And all these things will help, like it will just help you summarize everything. And other than that also, like I'll say you have to like this field you have to keep learning. If you just stop
yes.
at any time, it will just you can't
True.
it's very hard to like catch up again. So you have to like
True.
keep learning, keep up to date of yourself, all the bugs, security, so everything that is going on, you have to keep learning all this.
Right. Um, so any tips for those who are preparing for interviews or looking for jobs? I
Yeah,
know I think it's maybe very early for me to ask, but still I would ask from your side if you
yeah.
have to
So
tell anything.
yeah, like first that personal notes is much more important. And
Okay.
currently if you are like you are in cyber sapiens, whatever you are learning, I'll say anything, any topics related to security, you just go through them, go through multiple like
Mm,
different from different like
mm,
parts you study, like whether it is like blogs, articles, research
correct.
paper, whatever you find, YouTube videos. Then you make your own notes, because all those things, because I when you will go like let's say one day before interview, you will feel like I have nothing from
Mm,
where I will study.
mm,
Like there are
mm,
load to study. If you have your own notes, you can just like go through and you'll be like more confident. So and
right.
don't think like
Mm.
anything, nothing is anything they can ask, I will say now. Like it's like you have to be ready. You have to it's
The
like go
interviews
through.
can go up to
Yeah,
1+ hours
yeah,
as well.
yeah. You have to be ready, I'll say. In security itself, if someone I don't like, it's just on you like who is taking your interview. Someone really like who is into security like taking your interview, and I will say you have to like fully prepare with that.
Hmm. Okay, that's
That's
that's really helpful. I think that was really helpful. One of the thing I liked about the whole from the whole session is basically the networking part, which you said, Tejas, and I
oh
would
yeah.
like to
Yes sir, yes sir.
yeah, I would like to give a few more talks on the networking part, because networking in cybersecurity is very, very important. And I really liked, and when you get confused, when you don't know what to do,
Yeah,
you go to reach out to people.
yes sir.
And I think that is something which is really a good thing about you. I think that will be the key takeaway from this session, which we have, which we
Yes
all, I also have to learn it from you, that you have to reach out to people irrespective of, without thinking that okay, what he
Yes.
will think, what he will
Yeah.
think, or should I reach out or not, that hesitation, I'll be small if I reach out to them. I think
Yeah.
that is something which is very important, and I liked about you as well, of the networking part. So guys, don't step back in when it comes to the networking. Reach out to more and more
Yeah.
people, have connection. It's a small world. Security is not a
Yeah.
big thing. It's a very small world. You never know how and when you would need the people again and again, right? So stay connected. That is one very key takeaway points. uh, Making notes is something which is again I
Yeah.
liked about Tejas, which you said. I think you're making notes, you're studying, learning, and making notes.
Yeah.
I think that is what has given you this career,
Yeah.
is what I believe.
Yeah. I will.
That
Yeah.
is
That's the
what
most
has,
important. Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
that is what has helped you to get this job, to crack that
Yes, sir.
interview,
Yes,
right?
sir.
They could drag it to 1 hour, 1.5 hour. It's because you made notes and you
Yeah.
were aware of the concepts.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, the interview would have
Yeah.
happened in just 20 minutes because there was
Yeah.
nothing more that they could ask, right? So yeah, these are the two key things, and I think which has been helping you. So keep up with the networking, keep up with the research, Tejas.
Yeah.
So final question is, before we end, last question: where do
Yes,
you
sir.
want to see yourself? Maybe what type
Yeah.
of position, career you want to pursue.
Yes,
Do
sir.
you have a long-term goal?
Yeah, so it's like I want to work in, like, I will say, like, ultimate goal is like I want to be a security, like in security I want to work in big companies like whether it is Microsoft, Google, and ultimately I want to start my own startup. I will say, so that I
Cool,
will say,
super,
yeah, ultimately that is my final goal, to have my
very
like
good,
own
very good,
startup related
very
to
good.
security.
Very good, Tejas, and I'm definitely sure that you will definitely succeed in your startup. It could be that you have, you would definitely be working with top companies. They could be your clients as well when you have your own startup.
Yeah,
Because I see the lot of potential in you. I see you are a very hard worker. It's not easy
thank you.
to do a job being
Yes.
a student. It's not easy at all.
Yeah. Yes.
Um, and I think that these are the things I think which we have to learn. And I think it was a very inspirational things to hear from you, Tejas. I really appreciate the time that you have given, Tejas. Thank you so
Okay.
much, Tejas. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay, so I
Yes.
wish you good luck for your career. Maybe sometime later, some years later, we will connect back again to
Yes.
share more
Definitely. Yes.
about your journey, to share more about your learnings that we'll have from you by the time you complete your BTech. Maybe we'll have one more
Yes, sir.
session with you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah. Thank you.
Tejas. Have a good day. Yeah.
Yes.
Take care. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bye
Thank you,
bye.
sir. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.